you want to start with part 2 now or part 1? Because we have
whatever, it will save time. Yeah, it will save time. Just quickly start with part 2 so that we can save some time.
Okay, fine. So your part 2 question is, describe a teacher who has influenced you in your education.
Who has influenced?
You. Yes.
Are you giving 1 minute preparation or no? You should, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We should. Okay. So, do you need the pointers where you met them?
Yes. Yeah.
So 3 pointers are where you met them, what subject they taught, what was special about them.
What was special?
Special about them.
Okay.
So is it plural? Fine. 2 people, more than 1 person?
Ma'am, even I wonder because they are talking them here. Because question is, describe a teacher who has influenced you in your education. And the question and the supporting questions are where you met them, what subject they taught, or what was special about them. So
so it's a mistake. The bullet points, they are a mistake. So you just describe one person because that's not possible describing 2 or more than 1.
Yeah. So Jaitly, you will talk only about one person in singular, not plural.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Setting your time.
Yes, I'm just started my stopwatch. Yes, Jaitly, you can take your 1 minute.
Your standard one.
Yeah, it's coming from my side.
Oh, okay.
Big crows. Yeah, very quiet place. You can hear actually.
Very relaxing.
Yeah.
Okay. Jaitly, are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Excuse me.
So let's start.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about a wonderful teacher who met me in my cosmetology. I did post-graduation in cosmetology from Delhi University, India. And when I met with her, she was my main subject teacher. That means she taught us cosmetology. And I did this completed this post-graduation in 2008. And she was teaching us, and she was one of my favorite teacher in those days. Not just those days, she is connected, or she is in touch with me now also, till now. And her name is Mrs. Krishna Sharma. She is in her middle 60s now, and she has a short blonde hair with black eyes, and her height is normal, like 5'4" or maybe 5'5". And she is kind of very fairly laid back person that I met. And she influenced me a lot since then until now. She is influencing me, or she is guiding and encouraging me for my better future, as she has shown me a way to make a good career in cosmetology, not just in India but outside India. And just because of her, that I have done other certification and courses from outside India, that means in Melbourne, as she advised and convinced me to do these, to persuade these, as they'll help me in my future career if I make a career in Melbourne. So the special thing which I liked about her is...
Time out.
Okay. Do you want me to give feedback now?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
She's got part 3 questions also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to part 3. Your first question is, has education in your country changed in last 10 years?
Okay, yes, definitely. Education has changed a lot in past many years in my country. As like earlier, people or the children were more focused in quite limited subjects, like if they go for uh, humanities, they make a career in law and all. If on the other hand, if they choose mathematics as their future subject in higher studies, so they used to make a career in accounts. And if they if children choose science, like physics, chemistry, maths, they are more interested in doing engineering.
What changes would you recommend to improve the education system?
Can you please repeat the question?
Sure. What changes would you recommend to improve the education system?
Well, I would say there are some changes which are required to be done in the education system in India. I think like there are new subjects which are coming up and taking good prospects and scope for the children to take them, like coding. Coding is very popular these days, so I think the Indian education system should include subjects like coding in their curriculum at the school level.
Okay.
This is one of the example which they can change in their education system.
What role do you think extracurricular activities play in education?
Well, extracurriculum activities do take a vital role in the education system, as they makes up a child's overall personality. Child can develop mentally, physically, and emotionally through having those extracurriculum activities along with their academics. So they build up they have overall personality development through extracurriculum activities.
Okay. What is the role of school in modern society?
School has the major or the biggest role, as they are the foundation of a child future, where child learn each and everything. They learn many of the things which are required for making a future. For example, a child learn to have behavioral like child learn how to behave at certain places and at certain situation. So this is a kind of different thing which a child learn along with their academics.
Okay. You're done with the test.
Okay, so
I think part 3 is very bad. I had many things in mind. I didn't put up.
Don't worry. there's only one thing we can do to always improve. There's nothing we can do except just to listen to the recording and think what we can improve. All right. So for part 1, I think you said about include. It include. You said it include. It's about, I think, food. I don't know. So when you use it, you know that it's singular, so it should include, not include.
Part 2 or part 1, ma'am?
Part 1.
Part 1. Okay, you're going with part 1. Okay.
And then it was a good thing that you said, oh no, it's about family. You said that it includes, my family includes my husband and all other members. So family is singular. So family includes, it should be includes, not include.
Okay, yeah.
What I mean? Like the singular form of include is with S, right?
Sure, yes.
Okay. All right, so things, it's really nice, the things that you do, eating, playing chess, and playing with your child, with blocks. So that was really good. And with food, you said Indian dishes. And then, I don't know, I can't remember if you really mentioned an Indian dish like masala or things like that, but I know you mentioned dessert and salad.
Yes, ma'am. She mentioned actually 2 of the dishes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's like kind of like I feel awkward to say that dessert and salad is a dish.
Oh no, I mentioned a full thali, means full platter, which include dessert and everything, means dessert and Indian bread and sabzi curry, and then you have dessert and salad, like
Okay,
full thali.
that was okay. That was good. Okay, typical food, Indian street food, and you mentioned about tiki. And then about men and women cooking, taking. I like when you said men. Nowadays it's like so you compared like in the past. It was not like today that men are taking initiative in cooking. So it's changing. So that was really good. And then about the place where you live, it's a flat. You mentioned about the flat. And it's also good, Jaitly, like I said already before about words, when you use it again, you can use the
synonyms.
Yeah, so if you say flat, you can say apartment, So
Okay.
now you say flat, and then the next time you say, oh, in my apartment, this is what we have, a master's bedroom, and then in another sentence you can say, our place is this and that and that. So you can use different words in this, but you cannot say house, okay? But house, if you mention about house, you can say place also. My place, like that.
Sure.
And the same with apartment, but do not use apartment and then you say in my house. You can say home. You can say home because even a hotel is a home if you have your family and then you feel home in that place. A while. Okay, so and you said about, because the question is what are the bad things? What are the things that you don't like or bad things? I think the question was, and then you said there's no bad things, but you said but something I don't like. It just really it went very smoothly the way you presented your sentence. But the only thing is when you said quietness. I don't know if we can say quietness. I'm not very sure. You can say peaceful place, peaceful sort of.
But if we will add peaceful word here, then everybody will think that peaceful is a kind of positive side only. So I have mentioned quietness. Why? When there's a good amount of quietness in a place, then sometimes you feel boring also. So that was the thing I meant. So I chose quietness. What other word I can choose?
You know what? You can look it up if
Park.
we can really say quietness for a noun.
Ma'am, can we say silence?
Silence.
Yeah, silence can also be better. Yeah.
Silence is the noun, and then silent is the adjective. It modifies silent phone, a silent, surroundings or stuff. So when you say silence, that's the noun now. Okay, next is part 2 when you describe your.
Can we use, ma'am? Can we use silence word or quietness? What shall I use?
I'm not very comfortable with quietness, so maybe silence. Yeah. You can say quiet, but not quietness.
Quiet, yeah. The place is very quiet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So okay, quiet.
Okay, so then the part 2, you said about your teacher, favorite teacher, and you say one of my favorite teacher. There was no S. But when you say one of, the noun that you're talking about should be plural, because there are more than one teachers, and then she is one of your favorite. One of the teachers that you like the most. So it should be plural when you say one of my favorite teachers. Okay, not one of my favorite teacher.
Teachers.
Teachers. It should be teachers.
Right.
Okay, so and then you have a very nice description, physical description. That was really nice because I could really make a picture, blonde, short hair, and the height, and it was nice. So I think when you do that with the examiner, it's really a good. The examiner will give you a better mark for that. And then convinced me. That was really good. You use the past form of convince. And again, you guys, did you try to listen to the way you use the W? Like away. You say away. You tend to say away. It's like I can.
Away.
Yes. Instead of away,
So
I hear like be.
Yeah, you told us.
Yeah.
I practiced also, but then it's not a matter of just few days. It's
It doesn't happen.
Years.
It doesn't happen overnight, But
I will practice again. I'll try. Yes, definitely. Next time I'll keep this.
Okay, so part 3, education changed in the last 10 years. Okay, this is the kind of question that you make a comparison. So it's good if you compare like 10 years ago, the educational system in my country is this, but today, this is this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can mention one or two that has changed. Let's say curriculum. Let's say teaching method. Okay, then you say, I know that in the past 10 years ago, in the curriculum, in the elementary, grade curriculum, there was no, I don't know, biology or something. But today, I know that this is already included. There are 2 subjects that are included in the curriculum. And then another thing you can mention, the teaching method. These days, I noticed that it's far more different from the past. because today the teaching method is this and that, but a long time ago it wasn't like that. So it's like you compare the past and the present, because that's why I mentioned to you about types of questions in part 3. There are like 7 that I mentioned: evaluation, opinion, comparison, contrast, and this and that. So yeah, and once you know that, you know how to, let's say, for example, if you know that, okay, education systems changed in the last 10 years, okay, this is a question that's, comparisons. I have to compare. I know it's really hard. It's, to me, it's easy for me to say now because I'm not in front of the examiner, but when we are in front of the examiner, it's just hard to think all of these things when you have to answer right away, right? It's not like part 2 that you have 1 minute to prepare. So this is really, it's a challenge, but it's good to know all these things, and then just go like, just answer the question. But it makes a difference if you know the kinds of questions and how you answer them accordingly. Look, what role do you think?
Sure.
Curricular. Okay, curricular. Jaitly, it's curricular. It's not curriculum.
Yeah, curriculum.
Okay, I think I heard you saying curriculum.
Yeah, I think I sounded lum at that.
Oh, okay, but you
Curricular.
intended to say curricular?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you can listen to the recording and
Yeah.
how it goes. Okay, so school in the society, I can't remember the question, but I think it's about, what role the school in the society, is it good or not, something like that. So you could also talk about, it would develop social skills for, for children.
Yes.
Something like that. Okay, I don't, all right, I think that's about it for Jaitly. And now let's go.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, now for Adwani. So, you are the examiner now.
Without wasting any time.
Okay. Let me just message the whole group that I'll be late again. Okay.
Shall I start?
Yeah, you can start. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Do that? Okay.
Yes.
I have some questions. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay, Aarti, do you study or work?
While I'm studying in an IT organization from last 12 years, I am working as an information security administrator.
Okay. Will you continue to work, and why?
Yes, of course I'll continue to work, and because I'm quite attracted to what I'm working right now, and in fact I have lot to learn in this field. I would try to excel more into this.
Okay. What about your future? What things will you include or will you start in your professional life?
Well, moving forward, I am thinking to learn few of the courses related to my field and implement those in my day-to-day job. In fact, I'm thinking to join one of the coaching center in my city, which teaches a variety of courses related to IT industry.
Okay, so I have another question related to some other activity. What kind of fishing is done in your country?
I think there is fishing in few of the regions in my country. The most popular is Goa, because Goa is surrounded by oceans, and it has a variety of facilities to perform fishing, and Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So do you eat fish? Do you like eating fish?
Well, to be honest, I'm a vegetarian. I've never eaten any kind of meat or fish in my life. Uh, but I would like to try once at least because I want to know, because I'm quite curious to know, and giving it a try to even eat a fish will also be one of in my list.
Would you like to keep fish as a pet in your home?
Well, I certainly already have a fish tank in my house. It's in the corner of my living room. My son regularly plays with the fishes, and we have got three fish into a tank. One is a blue one, orange, and another one is a yellow, which is quite tiny at this moment.
So how do you take care of them when you are not at home?
When I'm not at home, I usually keep it with my neighbors because they are middle-aged people and they are mostly at home and they have never refused to take care of my fishes because they also love them.
Already. Moving on to part 2 now. Describe a risk that you took.
Risk, okay, okay, yes.
Okay, this is a question, and the sub questions are: what was the risk?
Mm-hmm.
What fear you had while taking that course? And the third one is: and what were the positive impact of taking that risk?
Okay.
Okay, so your 1 minute starts now. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, Aarti, you can start speaking now.
Sure. So today I'm going to talk about a risk that I had taken last year when my office asked me to travel to Delhi for a week since I had one of the project work which was supposed to be done with the team, and the team sits in Delhi, uh, Delhi office. It was time in March last year when my son's exam was supposed to commence, and there was he's quite used to in studying with me only, and he's never done any independent work in his life. But that was a time that I had no option but had to travel because my work was also important. So I took this decision to travel, and I left my son alone with my husband. Whereas in past, whenever I have left my son with my husband, he's never studied. In fact, they both have wasted their time playing or watching TV. But this time, to my surprise, uh, I uh, I understood that even if I will leave them alone, they are there to manage the stuff in my absence. So I moved to Delhi. I traveled to Delhi for a week, and yeah, my son started his studying, and independently he was able to cope up his studies. In fact, he covered all his syllabus thoroughly, and before the exam, he could finish his revisions as well and perform very well in his exam. In fact, when I came back and I got to know about his result, he actually uh, he actually uh, uh, he actually scored uh, very. He actually scored really good, and he and achieved his.
Okay, stop here. Okay, it's done. Good. So moving on to part 3. First question is: do parents warn children? Warn, WARN. Do parents warn children about taking risk?
Yes, I think all the parents, in fact, want their kids to not take any risk because they feel like if they will take any kind of risk, it might harm them, or it will be quite detrimental to their living, or sometimes they may get hurt themselves. Or in fact, there are some parents who encourage children to take risks because they want them to become more confident and cope up every situation in their life. Uh, might be they will learn lot from it, and that's why parents think
Okay.
that.
Who take more risk, young or old people?
Younger or
I think.
older? What was the
Who
question?
take
Sorry?
more risk? Who take more risk? Is it the younger people or old?
I think most of the risks are taken by young people in this generation because they are fearless. They doesn't think about the consequences, and in fact, they are quite curious to know about different things in life. Therefore, they would try, for example, bungee jumping, or maybe they will go for river rafting. They are fond of doing such things because it gives them adrenaline rush, which is great excitement that one would look for. And I believe young generation today uh, is is interested to learn a variety of things in their life.
Good. Why children take more risk?
I think children take most of the risk because uh, they are uh, they are quite interested to know new things, curious about everything. I mean, let's say it's science or environment. They are mostly sitting near the tables, watching on laptops regarding these topics, and they would later talk to their parents about it. So they are quite interested, and in fact, they like to discuss such topics, and they would not mind also taking risk in these.
Very fine. It's completed.
Okay.
Thanks for attending.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
So,
I missed.
all right. I couldn't take a lot of notes for Adwani. Sorry about that, Adwani, because I was like looking after the texting the other, students for their waiting
Uh,
for,
Ma'am, but thank God you did not took the notes. I really messed up today. I don't know why.
I know those are actually like hard questions for me. Like they were hard. Like
Actually,
describe
yeah.
risk or yeah. But for example, if it's risk, I don't know what you described there. I wasn't paying attention. But one thing that I can say, okay, in part three, because you said that, do you think parents would allow their children to take risk? I think that was the question. But the, I got confused with your answer, Adwani, because first you said yes, and then you said parents don't want or not want.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Actually, I messed up today. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm lost of mind, I guess.
No, it's okay. That's why we practice,
Oh.
that's the purpose of this practice. Okay, so
So one thing from my side in part
Yes.
1, I asked you, do you study or work? So you replied, I study. I study in IT or what you told me? What? I
I
don't
said
know.
I work, I guess, right?
No, you mentioned study, but then in the next sentence, I work as this and that.
Oh, I'm being serious.
That was a slip. That was a slip.
Yeah, that maybe that was just a slip.
Oh God, I'm not so scared. Oh God.
But I mentioned that word very much. Adrenaline rush. That was the best answer I got.
Yeah. Okay, you
Yeah.
know what? For the rest, you said about your question was like who take more risk,
More
are
risk.
young people or the old? So I
I forgot of the question itself. I just went on and then I forgot what was the question. But I had to finish it.
but I was thinking that if it was me, maybe I would mention about you go to like amusement parks and you see all those roller coasters. You don't see old people, so obviously it's only young. Most mostly most of those who take risk are young people. So I think I
Yeah.
would mention that. But I know it was a
OMG.
hard. They were hard questions.
But she mentioned the activities, adventurous activities like river rafting, and then
Bungee
one more
jumping.
activity,
Yeah,
bungee jumping.
yeah, that was
So
good.
yeah,
They were
that we can also include the rides, roller coaster
good.
rides,
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yes.
Right,
To
right.
me,
or
to me, it's easier to mention the roller coaster rides because it's like many people go to those amusement parks. It's
yes,
easier for you
young
to
people.
imagine the situation
Yeah, eh,
other than
yes.
bungee. I don't even know that word.
Easier to
No,
remember actually. When
Uh-huh.
you go
yeah,
to amusement park, it is filled with younger people only. So that's how we
yeah.
can imagine and
Mhm.
remember it.
Yeah, so you
Actually,
just remember it, Adwani, in case. It's
yeah,
funny because sometimes the questions that we already practice, those are the questions that we get from the examiners.
yeah,
Or those questions that we already came across with. But
yeah,
there's no guarantee to know which questions we get. But
yeah, right.
sometimes it's like that.
Yeah. In fact, ma'am, I think from last 2 to 3 days I was not practicing speaking at all, and that's why today I lost all my confidence when I was talking. I was just talking and talking, not realizing whether I'm justifying my answer or no.
You said you
Uh,
study instead of your work.
Yesterday also I was thinking to arrange a meeting, but we couldn't do any practice. I think I should practice daily, otherwise it is really messing up myself.
Okay. Yeah, but anyways, that's why we have we have this preparation. So I think even if we miss up with the practice and everything, there is still like good in preparing, like
Yeah,
practicing constantly, because you get
right.
used to the questions and somehow you remember what are the, especially like if we are giving tips and we hear uh, suggestions like that, or sometimes I give away like the model answers, right? We are almost done, so you guys, I can just end this one and we can go to the next. Okay, if you guys
Right.
are still up to the next practice. There is one waiting here, but I didn't admit him. I don't know. Nurin, uh, because
Not Noorin, I think Mansoori Adil, na? We have Mansoori Adil, Ahana, me, and
oh,
Ar.
okay, so yeah, okay, so we'll go to the next now. Okay, I'll end
Sure,
this
Okay.
ma'am.
side.
Perfect.
See you on the other side.
Ma'am, what time you are
You.
starting?
I'm sorry.
What time you will be starting next one?
Now